Ciao, I'm Mary Ann Esposito here at La Scuola Culinaria at the Tuscan Market. And today, we're going to be making pizza with all of you and you. So stay tuned. And that's all there is to it. I mean, cooking doesn't have to be complicated. Add the cream. So about a half a cup of heavy cream goes in here. You did a great job, Mary Ellen.
Thank you, Mary.
With the base of the pan. It's a little rumba action.
I've got a relatively clean hand to work with.
I always say you have to keep that hand clean so you can answer the phone.
There you go.
Yeah. Ciao! You did both so well. You did really, really well. That was beautiful. I think you should keep that.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, first of all, I've got about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil in this pot and 2 whole cloves of garlic. Now, there are different schools of thought about that. Some people like to mince the garlic up and make it part of the sauce. Some people just like to put the whole cloves in like this and then fish them out. I just let them take on a little color, and then at that point, I add my tomatoes. So you want to just, I get them a little dark. See how they're starting to get a little brown now, and I leave them in because I like that flavor, but if you don't want that flavor, you can just fish them out. So once the garlic starts to take on just a little color, as you can see right there, then you want to add the basil, and you put it right in there, and you want to make sure it's fairly dry because you heard that sizzle, and that means that there was a little bit of water on the leaves. So I tie it with some kitchen string just to make a little bit of a bouquet and put it in there, and I let it go just until the leaves start to wilt. Don't try to make a tomato sauce with dried basil because dried basil really has no oil. No oil, has no smell, no oil. This, is fresh, and it's going to impart a nice flavor to our sauce. And then once our sauce is cooked, I tied it with string so that I could just fish it out very easily. So once you have the basil in, then you want to add your tomatoes. And a trick for this is, so it doesn't go all over you, is to put the spoon right in the center and pour the tomatoes over the top of the spoon. That kind of deflects where all of that tomato is going to go. So you have it in the pot now. And then all we have to do is give this a little bit of salt. A little salt, cover this, simmer it for about 10 minutes. It's done and ready to use for your pizza. And also, you could also use that for pasta. Good idea. So now that you know that, let's make the dough. I decided to cook today making pizza with my friend John Casey because he's a locksmith and he knows all about fixing locks, and I really need that. So I thought if I fed him a pizza, things would, he wouldn't charge me as much. But anyway, you're here today and we're going to make pizza. But first we have to think about preparing for the pizza. So to do that, we need the right pans, right, John?
Yes, we do.
What do you usually cook your pizza on?
Regular flat pan.
A regular flat pan, which is perfectly fine, perfectly fine. And so you have something like that here. So this has got, if you're doing it in a pan, you want to get a pizza pan that is perforated like this, right?
Correct.
And why do we want that perforated?
We want to be able to cook evenly.
Right, cook evenly so the crust is not soggy. However, if you want to move up a step from that, you can try baking your pizza on a stone to kind of simulate how they do it in Italy. Particularly in Naples, they would cook it in a wood-fired oven that was 900 degrees. We don't have that. We don't have that option. But we can come close to recreating a Neapolitan pizza. So this is a stone, and John, I'm going to have you put it in the oven. So why don't you take that and put it in the oven, and
Absolutely.
We want to preheat that. Unlike this pan, we don't have to preheat the pan. But we do have to preheat the stone because the pizza is going to be cooked directly on the stone. So it has to be hot enough. So you want to get your oven up to temperature. So you put the stone in, you put the oven up to 450, 500 degrees for about 20, 25 minutes. Then when you go to put the pizza in, it'll be ready. Okay, if you're not doing that, you're doing this. So John, if you're going to use a pan, you're going to want to give it a little bit of olive oil. So I'm going to just put this at the edge And this is a non-stick pan to begin with, so you don't have to do this with the olive oil, but I think it's good added insurance. So once you have your pans prepared, then you can set them aside, and then we're going to work with making the dough. So do you make your dough from scratch, or how do you usually do it? You don't buy dough, do you?
I'm sorry.
This is bad. Okay, all right.
I'm learning.
Okay, all
Now that I
right.
have a good teacher,
Okay,
I
all
won't
right.
be doing that any longer.
All right, good. Okay, so we'll put that aside. You're good with that. So put this aside over there. So now we have to work with the ingredients. So the first thing we have to do is get ourselves some yeast. So in my mind, I like to use as many products from Italy as I can find to approximate the flavor of the pizza. So this is Caputo, and Caputo is an Italian company that makes flour, makes yeast. So we want a teaspoon of dry yeast in 2 cups of warm water. And you might want to make sure that the water is warm, not hot. So it's finger warm. Too hot will kill the yeast. So now that we have our water and our yeast, we can take this and put it right in this bowl. Put it right in the bowl. Okay. Put that aside. So let's put all of the Caputo in our bowl. Okay. And I tend to do this with one hand, John. But your hands are clean, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay. So here is our all-purpose, and here's our salt. So first, let's just mix this around with our hand. And we'll know when it's right because it'll start to form a ball that we can take. So we're going to clear the decks here. This is a bench knife. That's going to help us. Move that aside, this aside. And we're going to give the board a little dusting of flour. And take this out right onto our board. See? Just like, okay, are you almost ready there?
Yes, I'm getting.
Okay, you're getting there. Okay, so now you have your flour down. Or take it out of the bowl. That's it. That's looking good. Okay. Yep. Okay, now, to help you, you want to use your bench knife to move the dough around. I find this a real useful tool because it helps to get the dough into a ball. And the other thing you can do so as you're not using too much flour, because I don't want a real heavy dough. You know, I want something that's going to be soft in the center but crispy on the edges. So if you're having trouble, put your hand in water, see? Then look, it doesn't stick to you. Put your hands in a little water and that'll help you. So you want to get this into a nice ball.
You make it look a lot easier than I am here, Marie.
Well, you know, I mean, how many years have I been doing this? So, yeah. But you're doing very well. Now pick up your bench knife. Get your bench knife. Okay. Yeah. And look. You know, like you're going to the safe and you've got that, you're ready to unlock that safe. And then it's just a matter of, you know, doing this little dance. So you're playing with that dough. And as this dough sits, it really gets easier to use. Good. You're getting there. You need a little more flour. On the board. Okay. Keep going. Yep. That's it. There you go. Okay. Then once it's not sticking anymore, you just put a little bit more flour down. And you just start to knead this. And if your hands start to get sticky, a little bit of water. Okay? The other thing you could do is put a little bit of olive oil on your hands. And then I'm just rotating the ball every now and then. Picking it up. Now, once we have that, we've got to let this dough rise till it's almost double in size. So John, now we're going to put some olive oil in those same bowls that we had our
Thank you.
made our dough in. So put a little olive oil in there. Okay. And now we're going to take the dough, take it with your bench knife, lift it up, and plop it right in there. See? Then you want to just turn it in the oil. And once you do that, you'll notice how much easier it is for you to just move that dough around. This is just, the olive oil is there just to lubricate the dough and actually give it a little bit more flavor. So this is going to take about 45 minutes or so to rise. However, I like to make this the day before. I put it in the refrigerator after it's risen once. And then I just punch it down, put it in a plastic bag, put it back in the refrigerator, and I can keep it in the refrigerator for 2 days or so. And then if I want to use it, I bring it out. It's all full of bubbles and everything. I punch it down again, I flatten it out, and I make the pizza. And it has a much better flavor. So now we have this in the bowl, and there's some plastic wrap there, right by you, right there.
Oh, great, thank you.
You want to cover the bowl. Cover the bowl. And you want to put this in a warm place just until this is double in size, okay? So John, let's show them the risen dough. Look at that. See? It's much lighter. Look at how fluffy that is. Look. Now, what we want to do is put a little flour on your board again.
Okay.
And we're going to take this out. We don't want to flatten it too much. Just kind of let it roll out of there. See? Look how fluffy. Fluffy. So, later we're going to do something else with this dough. So we only want to use half of it for the pizza. So let's cut it in half with your bench knife. And take that half, put it back in your bowl. Just let it sit there, because we're going to do something else with that. Now we have this half. See how fluffy that is? Look at the air bubbles in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now you are going to put this, is that half? Is this half?
I believe it's half, yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, you're going to put half in this pan. You have options here. You can put a little flour down on the board, and then you can get your rolling pin. Where's your rolling pin? And you can roll the heck out of this, you know? Or you can simply take this and just stretch it, because you see this is where the gluten comes in, that you really want to be able to stretch it, and spread it in this pan. So that's why I had you put a little bit of olive oil down. I think you need just a tad more. So a little bit of olive oil.
Okay.
The choice is yours, whether you want to roll it or you want to spread it in the pan. But I think you might like spreading it in the pan easier. Okay, so
Should I
there
do
you
it
are.
in the pan, or should I spread it here?
It's up to you. But you're going to have to lift it then. Don't press down too much. See, look. Take it and just let it, the weight of it, do its thing. See? Just let the weight do its thing. Now, put it there. Now you spread it. And what I'm going to do, excuse me, is I'm going to put mine, because I'm going to cook it on the stone, I'm going to use the peel, because I need to, you know, get the pizza in the oven. So to do that, and in Italy, I should tell you, pizzas are a personal thing. So when you order a pizza in Naples, it's not to be shared. No. That's your pizza. So it's usually dinner size, a dinner plate size. So I have a little bit of olive oil on a piece of parchment paper. I just kind of spread it out. Then I take my dough again, allowing just gravity to do its work. Get it on there. And you may want to come back to this, put it on the dough, put it on the paper, and then come back, stretch it a little bit more, into the shape that you want it, round or however you want it. But as this sits, it's going to relax even more. So you'll be able to stretch it. If you want to use a rolling pin, you can. But if I just let this sit here, I'm going to be able to stretch this dough out to whatever diameter I want. But you see how it springs back a little bit, so I know that. So by using your fingers, excuse me, instead of a rolling pin, you're going to save those air bubbles. So we want about a 10-inch pizza out of this. How you doing? Good.
Great.
Very good. Okay. That's a little bigger pan than what I'm using for in the oven. The stone is smaller, so. Okay, so once we have our 10-inch, it's about 10 inches. Kind of neaten up the sides. Have the edges a little higher than if you're doing this freeform like this. Okay, then I can just put this on here, see, on my peel. Once I have it like that, well now we both have our pizzas ready. That looks great. We need to do the toppings. So John, here is our tomato sauce. Look how beautiful that is.
Gorgeous.
10 minutes.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous? Okay, 10 minutes. And the garlic is still in there whole. You could put that on the pizza if you wanted to. So remember, you want to have the right ratio of the toppings to the dough. So you don't want to overkill this. So I take a spoonful of the sauce. I put it right there. And then I just kind of swirl it around. I don't want to over sauce this. See? Go to the edges, kind of like that. That's enough. All right, so now you do yours.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
I'm going to use the garlic.
Use the garlic. So now we have our sauce, and it's smelling like Grandma's house, right?
Yes, it is.
It is, okay. Then for a Margherita, I mean, you can have anything as a topping for a pizza. Some people like to do seafood, clams, you do a pizza that's called a pizza bionda, which is just olive oil and salt and some grated cheese. It's a white pizza. You could do olive pizza. There's all kinds of pizzas you can do, but we're doing classic Margherita, which means we have the tomatoes, and now we're going to use fior di latte. Now, if we were in Naples, they would be using a buffalo mozzarella. This is a fior di latte, which is a cow's milk, because buffalo mozzarella is something that is made around Naples, but it should be eaten on the day it's made. It's that delicate. It's a spun cheese. It's a mozzarella cheese, which means it's a fresh cheese. So we put on some mozzarella, and then we're ready to go. But we have one other thing we need to add, which would be fresh basil, because a Margherita has the tomatoes, the mozzarella, and fresh basil. But if we put this on now, it would just fry and get brown. That wouldn't taste very well. So what I like to do is just before this pizza comes out, I give it a dash of some fresh basil, and the heat from the pizza just kind of wilts it down, and you're ready to go. So let's give it just a tad of olive oil over the top, just a little drizzle, and some for you.
Thank you.
And my oven is on at 500 degrees because that stone had to be preheated. And John's oven is on at 425 degrees because he's cooking it in a pan, but I'm going directly on the stone. So here are our pizzas, and now to the oven. So here's the second half of the pizza story, because now we're going to make something called pizza fritta. It's fried pizza. It's actually a street food. So, you know, if you were wandering around the fairs of Italy, you'd see people eating pizza fritte on the street. And they can have different kinds of toppings. Some people even fill these with jam, marmalade. And whenever I make these, of course, I think about my Nonna Galasso, who made these all the time. I love these. Here's the problem with this. Once they're in oil, which you have to use to fry them, and you give them that nice sweetness, you have to stand there right at the stove and eat them. Because when they're cold, they're not good. So if you're going to make these, you tell everybody, you come to the stove when I have these ready, and you just eat them right there. So this is the second half of that batch of pizza dough that we made. So now we're just going to cut this up and make small, little, random shaped pieces of dough. So you just take your dough, you know, and you just kind of stretch it out. You've got vegetable oil going on the stove. You just put these down. And I remember my grandmother making just so many of these on a big blanket. So she would have a whole blanket full of these. And then she would get that oil ready, and I'd stand there and wait for them to come out, and there would be cinnamon and sugar, and they would be absolutely delicious. So with that basic pizza dough, so you can do something savory, the pizza, then you can do something sweet like this. So just stretch them out a little bit and lay them on some flour, just so they don't stick, while the oil is heating in the big pot. So you want your oil at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And for this, you want to use like a vegetable oil, sunflower oil. You could use a peanut oil for this. You don't want to use olive oil for this. All right, so there's our pieces. Then we need, John, cinnamon and sugar. I really like this to be cinnamony, so I put a lot of cinnamon in. And we put it in a bag, just like that, and shake it up so it's all ready, all well mixed, because you're going to need that right at the end when these come out of the hot oil. Okay, so these are really ready to go. So now we have to get that oil hot. We have our oil at 375, and we're going to put the pizza fritte in. You want to use a spider. This tool helps you get it in there. It's safe, so you don't splatter it all over yourself. And these should just rise up. See how they're rising up?
Fantastic, quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. And when they're nicely browned, that's when you want to take them out onto absorbent paper. All right, John, you see they're nicely golden brown. Look at how fluffy they are. And we want to put them on absorbent paper first to get off any excess oil. Okay. This is set. And you just keep going like this until you've made all of them. Then, when all of that excess oil is off, you want to put them immediately into that sugar and cinnamon. John,
Yes, Marie?
we have unlocked the secrets of making pizza today, haven't we?
We certainly have.
Because we made one dough, but we did two preparations. We made basic pizza Margherita, beautiful, and we made pizza fritte,
Yes, we
fried
did.
pizza with the cinnamon and sugar. Thanks for helping me today. You were a lot of fun.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's been great. I learned a lot today, I have to say.
Good. And until I see you Nella Cucina again, I'm Mary Ann Esposito.
And I'm John Casey.
Ciao.